80-some-year-old, born in Huddersfield in 1937, never been more than 4 miles from the centre of Huddersfield all my life. The original, I've actually moved 3 houses since 1937, first one in 1950 to Mount, which was civilisation compared with living on Linley Moor on a model farm in the farm cottage. My father worked for the landowner's brewery, John Henley and Sons, which had a 20-odd public houses scattered around Huddersfield, Halifax areas. Those supplied liquid refreshment, usually from the people at Burton-on-Trent, with a weekly delivery to the brewery. They also supplied Guinness and distributed it. And my father was senior driver for the small mechanical fleet they had for taking products to the public houses and clubs. The cottage was 200 yards from the nearest road, which was A643, which was the New Road linking Brighouse with Outlane. The road was very busy every day with vehicles going back from Lancashire to the Yorkshire textile companies, Bradford Dyers Association, and their vehicles were able to do 30 miles an hour on that road, crossing the Pennines. The heavier vehicles used the A62 up the Colne Valley over to Manchester, and that was a 20 mile an hour speed limit for lorries in them days. We were a quarter of a mile from the nearest trolleybus route, which linked Outlane with Huddersfield, and that was operated with a 10-minute frequency of trolleybuses. 130 odd of them were all manufactured by Carrier. Now, the other service which we used in those early days were the Halifax Joint Omnibus Company service from Outlane to Halifax, which went through Stainland, where my granddad lived. Plus, also my father's sister lived there as well, along with the 2 daughters. So we quite often went on that route from Outlane to Stainland, and occasionally would travel on it through to Halifax. Interestingly about that route, that in 1950, when I started going off with the lads on trips, we went on the brand new double-decker on Halifax Joint Service, and going down a steep hill, Forest Hill Road, we watched the glass in the window move, and you could see it could put a pencil in between the glass and the frame. When you come to another curve, it went the other way and shaded the pencil. So those were brand new Park Royal bodies, which were obviously very cheap. Equally well, those Park Royal bodies had a single skin roof, so when it was icy, the interior saloon upstairs roof was white with frost. Happy days. Also, during the war, my uncle had a shop in Andrew Street, Higher Oakenshaw, and my mother used to bring me and my sister over on the train to Staley Bridge or Ashton, then catch a trolleybus from there to Higher Oakenshaw. And before I was 10, I was doing that by myself. And instruction were a piece of paper with all the stations on from Huddersfield to Staley Bridge. And when you get to Staley Bridge, you get off. Walk down the platform, go on the subway underneath the railway, then down the slope, out of the station property, turn right under the railway bridge, and the first bus stop, you can catch a trolleybus, route 28, to Higher Oakenshaw. which could be either a Manchester Corporation one or an Ashton Underline one, in a lovely blue and red livery. While in Manchester during the war, my uncle was working at this corner shop on Andrew Street. In latter years it was renamed Armadale Street after the war, but during the war he was seconded to work at Earlham on one of the government factories there. So my auntie was running the shop, and quite often my mother would take a small Hitachi case with some fresh vegetables in for my auntie, and on the return we'd take things like sugar and other consumables which were hard to get hold of at home. At the same time, walking down from the shop, you could go across to the Red Wreck and watch the trains coming out of London Road going towards Guy Bridge, and there were 442 tank engines on the stopping trains. There were new B1s on some of them, which had been built, I believe, at Gorton, a batch of them, and there were also in some cases A3 Pacifics, which I have vague memory of. Now, Gorton Tank was where the works were, and on one side of a road from Ashton Road to the tank, and one was a cobbled street with an entrance near the far end into the motive power depot, or up onto a footbridge which took you over the centre of the railway works and dropped you down near B. Peacock's works. Now, B. Peacock in those days had a couple of work shunters which were often seen at the London Road end of the building, and one of them was a tram engine which originated in South Wales, Australia, or New South Wales, Australia. In latter years we were involved in recommending that to Goody Crouch. The other side of the road there was the Midland Railway Depot, with a lot of parcel vehicles with carrier cobs and scamels on deliveries. Now, the farmhouse where we lived in on Linley Moor was 200 yards from Linley Moor Road, and we had a weekly collection of the dustbin lorry, which was a carrier cob with a trailer which used to come and collect the rubbish once a week. We also had a Dennis wagon which came with two platforms, lower deck with full tubs of sinks from the toilet, earth closet toilet, and the top one with the empty containers. There were no connection, house wasn't connected with any drains. The view from the back of the farmhouse and the back where the toilet was, you could look northwards and see right into Halifax. Now, in the distance, in the bottom of the valley, you could see the branch line going from West Vale to Stainland, with a viaduct going across the valley bottom. And every day there were a goods train went up to Stainland, which we watched quite frequently. Also, from the back of the farmhouse, you could see at least 8 different bus routes which Halifax operated in the distance. You could see them going to Blackley, Hullen Edge, Rippenden, Barkisland, Stainland and Outlane and Elland. And I got interested in transport watching those as a very small lad. Also in the distance, at the Blackley side, was the brickworks, which finished up with a load of tractor units and muriel dumpers, where the driver sat on the front of it, steering it, and then when he wanted to go the other way, just turned his whole lot round and went the other way. Unbelievably multi-purpose vehicle. And they were used by the brickworks, providing material for doing pipes, bricks and what have you. The other thing on the main road was the 1947 winter, where the main road 200 yards away from the house was completely blocked with snow. and eventually it was cleared by an 8-legger, 4-axle lorry AC from Hanson's with a temporary snowplough fitted at the front and ballasted, which forged its way through. On the road up to Scapegoat Hill from Outlane, that he was a bulldozer with a Caterpillar tracks on to clear the snow, and that did quite a lot of damage to the road surface. Now also, going from my grandma's at Nettleton Hill to Outlane to go home, at one point we could walk down Roundings to New Way Road, which is about a mile west of Outlane, where we could catch a bus which was very infrequent from Non-Sarah's to Huddersfield, which went on the road past where the farmhouse was. So we caught that a number of times, and quite often we saw a pub at the bottom of the Roundings Road on the, where you join New Way Road, where a lorry and trailer were there with tram trucks on them, which had been acquired by Ashton Corporation from Manchester. And the driver of the lorry was having a pint or two in the pub. So that's another early memory of trams and stuff. Equally well, when the New Way Road and Lindley Road joined at Leach's Hill, which is a mile south of Outlane Terminus towards Huddersfield, you could quite often see bus chassis coming along, skeleton form with a soapbox on them, and the driver of them wearing a flying suit, completely, so completely immune to the cold weather. On the same basis, many times you could see the procession of double-deck buses built by Charles H. Thoreau for Oldham coming past on Lindley Road on the way over to Buckstones and Denshaw on delivery to Oldham. Also on that road, we could see, before 1948, the linear horse boxes on Maudsley chassis, which were taking horses from the stables in Yorkshire to the racing tracks in Greater Manchester, well, in Manchester and Lancashire at that time. So all the early memories. Now also at Manchester, I was along with a cousin, went to the turning circle at Higher Oakenshaw, where the trolley buses on the short workings on the 218 turned round, and we were known to open a ticket box to collect used tickets from the box and then run off with them before the conductor could catch us. So I did quite a collection of tickets at that time, but all low values. Then I remember one vehicle at Manchester where it was obviously 8 foot wide, but there were some put 6 seats in, and the gangway was quite extensive between the seats. Equally well, going to Newton East Shed from the Solibus route, where you caught the 53 at Greymare Line, not Greymare Line. Anyway, it took us from there up to Miles Platting, and then that was the first experience of the new Crossley double-deckers, which just sounded like a motorboat when they set off with the noise. The single-deckers on the Route 19 through Higher Oakenshaw from Droylsden to somewhere near Longside. Single-deckers were cutaway rail platforms like the Edinburgh ones, and there were usually Crossleys on that. And then they also had at Bellevue a service to an housing estate near where the electric loco depot was at Redditch, which had been converted from a half-cab single-deck Leyland to a normal control Leyland for operating the shuttle service from Bellevue to the estate. I remember seeing that. But to get there, my mother had given me a piece of paper with all the station names on, which she ticked off when you went from Huddersfield to Staley Bridge. A bit more difficult going to Ashton and walking across to the market to get to short working on the Ashton Old Road routes into higher open shore. The railway service was quite extensive, passing the Red Wreck, and spent hours on the fence at the top noting the numbers of the trains going past, which was pre-LNR grouping into British Railways. Above the canal during the war there were all these barrages loaded up, protecting all the industrial complexes in that higher open shore area. English Steel amongst them, Beer Peacocks, Gorton Works, Gorton Tank and other ones. No, long time ago.